$5,000 design center credit that I am going to give to the next person I help build a Highland home with. In a market like today, it can be very daunting to build a new construction home. Not only do you want to go with a reputable builder, but you also want to make sure that you are not overpaying for the product. Today in this video, I want to highlight Highland homes in particular and give you 9 ways in which you can overpay for a home to ensure that you are educated and prepared to build a new construction home. Hello and welcome. If you are new here, my name is Danielle and I am a realtor here in the Houston area, and I specialize in the Houston suburbs, especially with new construction homes. Tip number 1 is to hire a reputable realtor. There is a lot of misinformation out there on whether you should use a realtor or not, if it saves you money to use a realtor, if it costs you money to use a realtor, and what does the realtor even do for you in the process. When you are building a new construction home, the sales agent for the builder represents the builder and the realtor would represent you. Almost all home builders here in the Texas area will pay for you to have representation by a builder. So typically it does not cost you anything to have representation. Not only that, but don't just go with any realtor. Make sure that the realtor that you are using specializes in that area, that community, has a relationship with the builders, and really understands the build process, because that is where the value comes from. Not using a realtor and the builder giving you a kickback is an absolute myth, and they are actually unable to do that. They do set aside a budget to pay realtor commissions, just like the seller typically does, and if that is not used, they keep that money. They do not give it back to you. My second tip to save money and not to overpay is to get a home inspection, a third-party home inspection. The builder does do their own home inspections, and the county and the state also do compliance inspections to make sure that the house is built to spec. However, it is so important for you to also get a third-party inspection. These homes are built by humans and by construction teams, and things will get missed, and the home inspection is your opportunity for them to fix it before you close. The third way that you can absolutely overpay for a Highland home, and any home builder for that matter, is not using the design budget properly. I highly recommend that you first focus your budget on structural changes, things like adding a back patio, adding square footage to the house, things that will not only appreciate in value, but will be extremely hard to do after you close. The second way I'd prioritize my design center budget is things internally, like electrical outlets and extra capped lighting, things that will cost a little bit more to do afterwards. And lastly, I would spend the design center on actual cosmetic things, starting with flooring, the kitchen, and primary bath, as those are the things that are going to get you the most bang for your buck, especially for resale value. My fourth way that you can overpay is by being picky. I really think it's important to be picky when you are building a new construction home. You should point out everything and any little thing that you see, especially towards the end, but I do believe there is a right place and time. If you are picking apart the house every single day while the construction process is happening and while they are working on the house, you might annoy the construction manager. But if you wait till the end or for the appropriate times when they are asking for your feedback and they're asking to correct those things, I believe that you will save a lot of money and you will be in the good graces of the construction team, who will be more than glad to fix all of these things. Another way to end up paying a lot of money is not being picky enough with the builder. They have a pre-construction meeting, they have a final walkthrough meeting, and they have a blue tape walkthrough. During these meetings, I highly recommend that you come prepared with questions and you ask about your concerns and you make sure that they are addressed, because that is what these meetings are for. And a lot of people sometimes feel bad that they're looking at paint chips and these little things, but those things are so important for the builder to fix and will save you a lot of money in the long run. So do not be afraid to be picky with the builder, because it will end up costing you a lot more money down the road if you are not. Again, these homes are built by humans and they are going to have mistakes. They're always going to have things wrong with them, and there will be hiccups through the build process. So just be realistic with your expectations, but also make sure that the builder follows through with their commitment to make a good home build experience for you. Another way you can overpay for the home build is not preparing for the close date. A lot of builders try their best to give you an estimate on the close date, but so many things can come up, whether it's weather or supply chain issues, whatever the reason. Usually, especially if you're building from scratch, there will be some kind of delay. And if you are not prepared with your housing or some sort of backup plan, that can end up costing you thousands of dollars. Another way you can overpay for a home build is trusting and not verifying. I think most home builders and the sales agents have good intentions, but people make mistakes and you can end up paying for those mistakes, especially when it comes to design center selections or structural changes. You will sign off multiple times on these things, and sometimes there are still mistakes or somebody could input it wrong, but when it's put into the house 6 months later, it really does come down to who said what and what was actually inputted versus what you thought. And there can be a lot of confusion. Which brings me to my next point on how you can end up spending a lot more money than expected is not reading the contract carefully. Not just the contracts, but all the other things that go with building a new construction home, such as the HOA fees, what the property taxes are going to be like, if there's fees to use the amenities. There are just so many other things besides the home builder fees that they might just gloss over because it's not necessarily their responsibility, and which is another reason why a realtor is important. Another way you can overspend is in the design center. If you want a beautiful, fully modern, upgraded house, that is great, but make sure that you are not overspending. So I highly recommend when you are doing these upgrades in the design center, do not go for the things that are easy to change, like faucets and ceiling fans and light fixtures and knobs and things that are kind of pricey in the design center, but go for things like flooring and countertops and backsplashes and things that are really going to make a difference and get you the most bang for your dollar when you are using the design center. And speaking of the design center, I do have a $5,000 design center credit that I am going to give to the next person I help build a Highland home with. So if you are looking to build a Highland home and would like my assistance, please email me about it and I will be happy to give you that $5,000 credit that was gifted to me to gift to you. Overall, Highland Homes is a very reputable builder here in Texas. They not only care about the customer experience and satisfaction, but they also take great pride in their home build process. I have built quite a few Highland homes with other buyers, and for the most part, they have been great experiences. And if something has come up that was wrong, like something was put, like for instance, the wrong brick on the house or the wrong backsplash, Highland Homes has gone out of their way to correct it and make sure that the customer is happy. If you're looking to move to the Houston area and would like assistance, feel free to message me. I would love to help you out. And again, if you would like to build a Highland home and you would like to use my $5,000 credit, please email me. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.